Welcome to this lesson on Terminal 4 Site Manager, navigating the home screen. As you'll notice, when you've logged in to Terminal 4, you have the T4 logo at the very top left-hand corner with Terminal 4 Site Manager indicated there. Clicking on this actually is a way of refreshing the screen. It is advised not to use the refresh buttons in your browser, rather choose clicking on the T4 logo or the words Terminal 4 Site Manager. To explain the layout of the screen, I will click on each item across the top and briefly explain most of these. I will skip some of these at this point as they're not relevant to us. Clicking on the AAA item at the very top of the screen will allow us to change the text size of the screen. Next to that is the organizational structure. Next, we have an item which is to do with widgets, which we will not cover in this, but there are two tabs there that we can work with and a number of widgets available. I'm going to skip those and come back to them later. We can choose the language, Chinese, English, or Oswego. Our username, and I'm logged in as a staff trainee account at the minute, has the, if you notice, the moderator tip comes up there while I hover my mouse over it. That indicates my level of access. There are a number of levels of access. Moderator is one, which is the most common one in DIT. I have a search box there that I can search by text. It's typing in some text and then clicking on the search magnifying glass. And finally, as we've learned in a previous lesson, logging the logout button. In addition to that, we have three drop-down menus: Content, Rights and Roles, and finally Help. The Content drop-down menu contains a number of items: Add, Modify and Delete Content, Site Structure, Media Library, and Approve Content. The first three you will not use from this particular drop-down as they are available elsewhere. The site structure is the same as clicking on the Terminal 4 logo at the top left-hand screen, so there's no need to click there either. It involves an extra click, so it might save you time. The last two items you will have to access from this drop-down as they're the only place you can access them from. The Media Library and Approve Content. Media Library, again, we will get back to these in more detail in a further lesson. The Media Library is an area of the system where you will store such things as PDF documents, Word documents, images, movies, and so on that you wish your users to see or wish them to download. Approve Content is an area for someone in your group who can approve content for publishing to the internet. Rights and Roles, we don't need to talk about at the moment, and Help is useful if you wish to go into the community, the T4 community, to search their database of issues and resolutions. There is a report an error and a submit suggestion, but we would prefer, rather than doing those directly to T4, that you could feed those items through our web administrator or the IS department. Returning back to the site structure page, we have the site structure displayed as previously outlined in a hierarchical form, where you can click on the plus to navigate, expand, or collapse the subsections below a particular page or section. Just across here on the top of this bar here, we have an option to reduce or expand both the accessibility rating and the SEO rating. Again, we will go into these in further detail later, but the SEO rating has to do with search engine optimization. Then we have three items across the top here. We have the green button, which is the approved button. The question mark in amber is pending, and the final one is an indication of deleted items or items which have been classed or have changed their status to inactive. Below that we can see the number of items underneath each heading. So in other words, this 13 indicates that 13 items have been approved. There are no pending items for approval and nothing has been deleted. However, if we move down to this item here, we see that there are 2 items approved and 1 item awaiting approval. On the right hand, and we have here the drop down menu indicator, which gives us a menu including add section, modify section, delete section, move section, mirror branch, duplicate branch, preview section, direct edit, bookmark section, and below a thick line we have add content, modify content, and delete content. And earlier we mentioned that we don't need to access add, modify, and delete from the content drop-down menu at the top. It's preferred to use the items which are the same from the yellow drop-down triangle there. Finally, across the top we have more indications of items that we can choose to include in the right-hand side, which is our widgets area. We can have bookmarks, approve lists, and others. Again, this is not something we want to cover in this lesson, but we may cover later. That concludes our navigating lesson. Thank you for listening.